This morning, Air Canada flight attendants have served a 72-hour strike notice to the airline. So the union says it gave notice to both Air Canada and Air Canada Rouge early this morning. What does that mean for you? Well, the move means more than 10,000 flight attendants can walk off the job at 12:58 a.m. Eastern on Saturday morning if a deal is not reached. In response, the union says Air Canada issued a lockout notice for 1:30 in the morning on Saturday. Air Canada said yesterday it reached an impasse in negotiations after the union declined to enter a binding arbitration process. The two sides have been negotiating a new collective agreement since March. Key issues are wages, work rules, and unpaid hours. For travelers, Air Canada says any canceled flights will be eligible for a full refund. Hundreds more people have been told to leave their homes for safety as a fire burns near St. John's.
I have two kids, so we're taking sentimental stuff belonging to them because we don't know where our house is going to be gone, and we need to make sure they still have some of their childhood with them.
And people have to be ready, right? Ready at a moment's notice to leave if they have to. There are 9 active wildfires in the province burning right now. The latest is in the Spaniards Bay area, which started yesterday. Prime Minister Mark Carney has told Newfoundland and Labrador Premier John Hogan the federal government is ready to provide more help if needed.
Definitely hitting home. It's a little close to home for me, and I definitely don't want to see it go any further. You know, at the beginning of the year, we were getting rain every single weekend, and everybody was complaining, and now we can't get enough rain. We've had next to no rain this entire month, and it's something we definitely need.
In the Halifax area, the Bears Lake wildfire forced some businesses and a medical clinic to evacuate Tuesday. 13 fire trucks, helicopters, water bombers, all responding. Provincial officials say progress is being made fighting this fire, but it's still classified as out of control. Drone operators, this is a big thing too. Drone operators are also being told stop flying in the area of a fire because obviously it puts firefighting aircraft at risk. Turning to New Brunswick, the province's largest fire there near Miramichi has now tripled in size. The province is asking everybody conserve water, since the combination of high temperatures and a lack of rain has left water levels really low. A wildfire burning near Moncton is also out of control. Nova Scotia has sent firefighters to New Brunswick to help. PEI, which by the way is the only province without an active wildfire burning right now, that province has also sent crews to New Brunswick to help out.
Now from the Halliburton Fire Management Headquarters are responding to the fire with 5 fire ranger crews and air attack. The fire is not under control.
Farmers are actively moving their animals right now to safety as a wildfire near Kirkfield, Ontario burns. This fire started Monday. It's about 33 hectares in size. It's about 6.5 times the size of the Rogers Centre in Toronto, to give you some perspective. It is now bigger than another wildfire burning between Bobcaygeon and Kinmount. No evacuation orders in place right now. But the City of Kawartha Lake says it has resources, community centres, public buildings on standby to house people if that becomes necessary. And the federal government is now pledging an extra $45.7 million for wildfire prevention and risk assessment projects.
There's no people that want to do more about wildfires than Canadians. We are being affected every day in very severe ways. We've seen this in the smoke that clogs our cities. We've seen this in our communities that are evacuated.
The money will go to 30 research projects nationwide with the hopes of also improving fire knowledge and forestry practices. The groups running the projects include nonprofits, private organizations, provincial governments, and Indigenous groups. There are now nearly 730 wildfires raging across the country, the second worst wildfire season ever recorded. Ottawa is gearing up to fast-track nation-building projects, which could soon include liquefied natural gas.
I would expect you would see a rolling set of announcements over the fall as different projects mature and meet the criteria.
Energy and Natural Resources Minister Tim Hodgson says he's confident there's a market for Canadian liquefied natural gas and wants projects to be fast-tracked under the new Building Canada Act. There are multiple LNG projects in the works, and that could see Canada ship millions of tons of natural gas every year. However, Minister Hodgson wouldn't say whether his government is prepared to scrap some of the environmental policies implemented by the previous government. Farmers are reeling and responding this morning to massive tariffs imposed by China on Canadian canola.
Not only are we facing a yield loss, but at the same time, obviously now we're facing an income loss for whatever we do grow. So it's, right now this could be a double whammy.
There are 40,000 canola farmers in this country who have just been slapped with with China's 75.8% duty on the oil seed. It's horrible news for an industry that has been dealing with drought just weeks away from harvest. The tariffs come after the federal government's decision last year to impose a 100% tariff on Chinese electric vehicles and 25% tariff on steel and aluminum. China says, after conducting an anti-dumping investigation, it found that Canada was providing its farmers with unfair subsidies. So that's according to China. Meanwhile, Canada's ministers of agriculture and agri-food and international trade have since issued this statement saying, quote, Canada is deeply disappointed with China's decision to implement provisional anti-dumping duties in its self-initiated investigation, adding, we do not dump canola. Dramatic video now from an Ottawa neighborhood of a major crash following what first responders say was a medical emergency behind the wheel.
And we heard the bang, and it was like, okay, that's not right. And when all we saw was like dust and smoke, and I was like, that's our car to the right. It should be here.
This is really scary. Oh boy. Remarkably, no one was hurt. You see the truck left the road, smashed into several parked cars along this street. This is in Barrhaven. At least 5 cars were damaged. Some people saying it could have been much worse because they were in their cars just moments before. A spokesperson for Ottawa paramedics says the driver experienced a medical emergency, possibly related to the heat, and that person was taken to hospital in stable condition. A cargo ship is floating in low water this morning after getting stuck in the St. Lawrence River near Montreal.
The St. Lawrence is fed by 2 main regulated watersheds, the Great Lakes and the Ottawa River. So the lack of precipitation creates less water in those bodies of water and then less in the St. Lawrence River as well.
So the ship ran aground, there it is, after a total engine failure yesterday. And although the low water levels in the St. Lawrence weren't to blame, definitely not helping the situation. The crucial shipping channel is under close low water level surveillance. Large ships have been ordered to slow down, and many have been told to carry less cargo. 37 metric tons of goods normally travel through here each year. So this traffic jam and lack of water could deliver a hit to the supply chain. The Coast Guard says it's not clear how long this vessel could be stuck for. Eek. Here's something you don't see every day. A giant Pacific octopus on Vancouver Island. Do you want to see? Okay, here we go. Ooh. Whoa, it is giant. Videographers John Roney and Chris Mullen were diving in a News Bay, cue music, when they came across this very curious octopus. It was very interested in their camera. The octopus actually took its own footage. Wild. And the what? What'd you say?
It's like a videographer.
Right. I thought
Like a mixed media journalist.
Okay. I thought you were doing like some sort of octopus pun.
No.
No.
I don't have any of those.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be better. The octopus turned the camera off at one point when it was done. It then appeared to give Mullen a hug. Is that what it was doing? Is that what we call that?
It was
hug?
reaching its limbs
to its face, to feel his face.
I think it was trying to eat him.
And take his oxygen away.
But let's call it a hug.